they've done their event this year.
I think they're still doing their WWDC in June. I think it is. I saw something on Mac Rumors today
Right.
about the June, and I think this year I read somewhere that they're doing a you know how the tickets always sell out very quickly.
Yeah.
They're doing a lottery
Right.
for
Okay.
tickets. So if you can put your it must be an online thing, I'd assume. And
Do
if
they
you put
charge for
your,
those?
name down, you could be a lucky. But you're not a winner. They don't give it out for free. They just say, well, yes, you can come to the WDC and give us your money.
So is it free? Or you
No,
still...
it's not free. I think it's more of people that normally miss out. It gives them a chance to come. They still have to pay for it, but they're sort of reserving a certain amount of seats for people who want to go on the lottery and get a place.
How much do you know off the top of your head, or is that?
I think it's about $1,000,
Holy jeez!
and that's before you fly over there.
Yeah, or even if you're over there, but geez, wouldn't you think that that'd be a bit of a, I don't know, a free event, and you just have a lottery to see if you can get in?
You would think
Oh,
so, because I know I could be wrong about this. Someone might want to correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Google Developers Conference is free or very minimal, might be a few $100s. But in days gone by, I think same with the Microsoft one, you'd get there and
They charge. It's about $2,000.
they charged, but then with the Google ones in part, they'd say, "Oh, here's our latest Google Glass," or "Here's Google Chrome." They give you stuff
Yeah,
like a little show bag.
yeah. Well, that'd be nice.
All you get from Apple is a little bit of arrogance.
Yeah, well, that's right. And Tim Cook.
Yeah.
Now, how's he
Here
been?
we are, June 13 to 17. The opportunity to buy tickets to this year's conference will be offered by random selection.
Wasn't it? Did you see, where was it? I saw was a story a couple of weeks ago. The Australian government, I think it was the Australian government, a bit hazy this story, but whatever government it was, I think it was the Australian government, paid something $30,000 or something like this for a randomizer app. Just something that would push out a random number. It was an obscene amount of money.
That'd be right. It'd definitely be a government that would do something.
Yes,
that's
I'm not.
stupid.
I think it was the Australian government for something that pushed out a random number.
Oh, I was reading that too. Hang on a minute. That was
Yep. I'm pretty sure it
that
was.
was the New South Wales government. Mike Baird.
Was it?
Yes. Oh, here we go. Oh my God.
What?
Hang on. Let me just confirm the cost. I'll just get it here. This.
Let's see if I can get this up. What
might be
are you
higher
looking
than I
at?
thought.
Random number, New South Wales government. Let's see if we can find out how much, and we'll give them a
Mike Baird
Give 'em a
randomizer
go.
app.
Transport New South Wales, drugs and driving. I can't find it.
Well, get this. You're not going to believe the cost of this. This is ridiculous. Apple, really? Are you for real? $1,600 US.
To go to there.
That's $2,000.
And what do you do there?
I
Watch
don't know. I could say something rude.
Tim Cook give a little show.
The Cookie Monster.
All right.
Live on stage.
All right, look, you can tell there wasn't much going on this week. Look, let's start off. The stories that I did pick this week are pretty much to do with Apple, actually. Quite a number. So let's start off with iPhones. Apple Watches should last 3 years. I would expect them to last longer than that, but
Okay, let's go. Let's break it down. You buy the expensive Apple Watch, and that stupid one who would spend $12,000 or whatever it is on an Apple Watch, right?
yeah,
And remember, we did this, I think, a year ago or a couple of years ago when the Apple Watch first came out.
yeah,
And the amount of gold on there, compared to just say a Rolex, is significantly lower, and they're charging the same price, right, as a Rolex,
yeah,
right? Now they're telling us if I bought that watch, $12,000, but it's got a year to go before it's useless,
yeah.
and I've just got $12,000. Now, if I spent $12,000 on a Rolex, I guarantee you that watch is going to be on my wrist for the next 30 years,
That's
and will
right.
not miss a beat.
Well, apparently, so what stirred all this up was look, it was a statement from Apple So the MacBooks and the iMacs are supposed to last, say, 4 years. Now, to model customer use, they measure the power consumed by a product while it is running in a simulated scenario. So daily usage patterns are specific to each product and a mixture of actual and modeled customer use data. Years of use, which are based on first owners, are assumed to be 4 years for OS X and tvOS devices and 3 years for iOS and watchOS devices. So look, we all know that the things probably do last longer than 3 years, but where is this coming from? Why are they saying?
Why are they announcing it?
Yeah, but why
are they making that public? I don't know. Are they some sort of environmental credential that they want to get? There's always an ulterior motive with Apple.
Are they trying to just to drive, the thought that
sales?
Well, yeah, to drive the sales in the way that, okay, we'll get it out there, plant the seed that everyone knows that, okay, well, my phone's obsolete in 3 years, I've got to get another one every 3 years.
Yeah, look, possibly, but that could backfire as well. Because if I buy a computer, maybe not so much a phone, because phones you tend to update every 2 or 3 years anyway. But if I bought a computer and someone said to me, that's going to be completely useless in 3 to 4 years' time, it might actually turn people away from buying Apple products.
But I would have thought, like when I was reading, I thought, well, all the other devices are probably going to be about the same as well. Like, the chips and the circuitry that goes inside these things is,
sure.
So most other companies are probably going to be about the same. But I just don't know why they came out. Look, let me just grab that story up.
Yeah, why would they do it? Look, that with the phones and the laptops, it's not so much of an issue because most people are going to change their laptop every 4 to 5 years anyway, right? And if you want to replace the battery, because if that's the problem, you've still got a perfectly good computer, and you can replace the battery for $150.
So right?
Give us some extra life. But the watch thing bothers me because watches aren't supposed to be disposable, not at the prices they're selling them for.
It says here, this may come as a surprise to mobile networks that routinely offer iPhones and its roles on contracts that last for just 2/3 of the time. Blah blah blah. Be offering you up, but that's what Apple claims in the new environmental Q&A section of the website. So you're right, you're on the right track with your environmental response.
Yeah, but what's that? To me, I would have thought if you want good environmental credentials, you would try and develop a battery that lasts as long as possible because then there's less landfill, right, and less mercury in the environment.
So what products are covered? Yeah, it doesn't really say. I haven't found it yet. Where it says...
So I don't know. That's a bit weird.
It is, isn't it? So, but anyway, so I don't know why they've come out and said that, but that's what they've done. So we all know now that, don't expect too much out of your iPhone.
Well, speaking of phones, there's a little short story during the week that about 5G speeds in Australia by 2020. Seems like a long way away, but we're already nearly halfway through 2016. That's 3.5 years away. It says here, the development of 5G, the fifth generation mobile network, which is predicted to bring seriously faster download speeds, blah, 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 has prompted lots of investment, etc., etc. Now, the speed, it will be, I think I read the speed was going to be about 100 gigabytes. 100 megabits per second down on the phone.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, we're getting close to that now, aren't we? No, we're not. We're getting about 40 or 50.
Yes, and I think as more people go on to the 4G, you get less and less. Yeah, so is this... I've got one up here from the news.com.au.
Yeah, that's it. That's what article I was looking for.
So Australians will have access to the internet service 100 times faster than the current 4G. But see, the thing is, I don't know. What do they got to do? I suppose what are the players in the mobile space are probably the same as the players in the home broadband space, pretty much.
Except for Vodafone, yeah.
Yeah, Vodafone. So why can't they stir it up? Like, what's the main cost of a mobile network? On probably the towers and everything.
Towers and satellites, I suppose.
Yeah, so why not? What's the problem in saying, okay, we don't do landline internet or terrestrial-based internet, so let's just stir it up. Let's start offering.
Let's just offer home-based 4G.
200 gig a month. on our 4G
for $70.
Yeah, is that gonna congest up the network and render it
Well,
useless?
it depends. I reckon it probably would if the mobile network was on it as well. But if I reckon they would do, or they should, if they're going to do that, you would have 5G for mobile devices like phones, iPads, etc., on one frequency, and if you want a home 5G to be on another frequency. That would stop it from clogging up, I would say.
It says, just reading this article here, it says Intel's predicting there will be more than 50 billion connected devices and systems worldwide by the time the 5G is available. So devices such as the wearables, the household gadgets, sensors embedded in industrial products, etc., will benefit from the fast speeds, lower latency. These devices don't use much data individually combined, but they become sapping on the current bandwidth.
Yeah. Well, I reckon then you have to go on different frequencies. You know, home devices like microwaves, ovens, garage doors, one frequency, which is a cost in its own because you got to buy frequency. You know, you might have to spend between 200 million and 700 million bucks just to buy a frequency.
But I suppose, like, what's the answer? Can they put up more towers? Is that the answer?
I don't think it's the towers. I think the towers can pump out different frequencies. I'm not sure. Someone might want to correct me on that. Because, for example, a lot of the towers around here now, they serve more than one supplier. They serve Optus, they serve Telstra. Telstra have got some of their own standalone towers that they don't let anyone use, but they tend to lease them out. Optus and Telstra and Vodafone all run off 3 different frequencies. And they all run off the same tower. So I don't think it's a tower issue. It might be more towers to get better coverage. I think you probably need that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need more towers because of the saturation, providing you're on a different frequency.
But I remember, like, back... Oh, you would remember, like, if you've had cable for a while. Remember the first cable broadband plans are only 12 gig?
Yeah.
A month?
Yeah, 12 gigs, and it was 12 megabits.
Yeah, it was if you went over the 12 gig, I think you were slowed to...
Yeah, you were throttled.
To, what,
and
64K
the next
or something?
one after that, they said the super booster went up. You got 25 down, I think.
Yeah, yep.
And then that was all DOCSIS 1, I think. And then DOCSIS 2, you got, I think, 30 to 40 or 50. And then DOCSIS 3 is 100.
Now, look, Apple's been letting us know how long their products are going to last. I wonder how long this the beefed up new MacBook and MacBook Air. Now, I think you might have had this as well, this story. So you can
got that as well. Yeah, but you can. I'll add bits and pieces as we go along.
Okay, so the famous and most wanted rose gold color is now available. I think it's garbage.
It is a beautiful color.
Oh,
but as a guy, you wouldn't get it.
No, it looks like a I don't know, what's that? A passion fruit.
It's an apple. It's an apple, mate. It's an apple.
Yeah, well, it looks like a passion fruit.
But have you seen rose gold colour up close in the flesh?
Oh, it's all right.
It's not bad. I wouldn't get one because I don't want people to disparage my choice.
Well, anyway, so the MacBook and the MacBook Air, they're getting a couple of upgrades. It's been a while since they've had upgrades, isn't it? It's been quite...
it's been at least a year. I haven't been on their website for a while, so I don't know what they've got.
So the MacBook processors have been upgraded to the latest Intel Skylake generation Core M processors, as well as bringing the RAM speed up to 1.866 megahertz.
So the MacBook now is what the MacBook Air used to be. Is that right?
I
they don't have MacBook Airs anymore, do they? It's just MacBook and MacBook Pro.
No.
They have got an Air as well.
Well,
the MacBook's that one that was really dog slow and really expensive, wasn't it?
Yes, it might have been. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So the RAM's been zipped up, given a bit of a speed boost.
It's still very slow, mate.
Well, M processors are slow, aren't they? Just the way
what
that
are
they
just doing? Didn't you say they're just using the Skylark? They've got an M processor here. I'm looking on the website.
The Skylake, yeah. But the 13-inch MacBook Air also gets a little upgrade of only 8 gig of RAM. So
whoop-de-doo.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
we do.
What is the actual upgrade for the MacBook? What did they say?
Well, yeah, look, this is where it's a bit poor, isn't it? Like now, depending on how much you're spending, but for $1,999, go down to Apple tomorrow, buy one. You will get a MacBook. So for $2,000, you get the dual core Intel Core M3 processor, 1.1 gigahertz.
That's rubbish.
Speed with a boost speed up to 2.2 gigahertz.
I had an M3 processor in 1997.
8 gig of memory.
Is this like the chocolate factory? You know, like they're making Cadbury chocolate and all the shavings fall on the floor and they make flake bars out of it?
Yeah.
And so this is like the leftover chips from 1997. They're just grabbing them off the floor and throwing it in the Apple computer.
So what are they saying? The MacBook, so there's still such a beast as a MacBook Pro? Like, I'm assuming.
Yes, there is. There's a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, so what's the CPU in that?
I'll tell you.
So if you look that up, because that's pretty...
I'll tell you what, because okay, this is not new, though. This is not new. This is the current Pro. Okay, the one I've got, the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Retina display, is the 2.9 processor, gigahertz processor. It is the, let me just get this up. It's the Intel Core i5 Turbo Boost up to 3.3, 8 gigs memory, which is expandable, I think, to 16, and a flash storage of 512 gigs.
Well, that blows this thing out the water.
And this is $800 more.
What's going on?
I don't understand.
What's going on? There's also the 1.2 gigahertz dual core Intel Core M5 processor with turbo boost speeds up to 2.7 gigahertz, 8 gig of memory, 512 gigabyte of flash storage. Yeah, 2,449.
Okay, well let's compare that to, because that's a 12-inch, right? The MacBook. So, and this the Retina and the MacBook Pro is 13-inch, and it's not that much heavier. For less than that, I can give you a 2.7 gigahertz processor with 256 gigs of storage, Intel Core i5 Turbo Boost to 3.1 for 2,299. Why would you pay 2,499 for a piece of garbage?
That's crazy.
They've got this all wrong. I don't think I said to you, I think a couple of years ago when this first came out, that this is not going to sell. No one would be crazy enough to buy something with an M3 Core M3 processor on it.
So what is the whole idea? Is it the whole idea? Is it's just a tiny little thing? It's as thin as the piece of paper, and so
But so's the MacBook Air, and I'd rather buy that.
But like you can go and buy the MacBook Pro for the same price. The $19.99.
It's not that much thicker. It might be, what's that? 10 millimeters thicker.
And what, you must get more stuff on the Pro.
Oh, you do.
Like
you
got
got
all
the
these
plugs and
ports
bits and
and
pieces
stuff.
and whatnot.
So what's going on?
Is this maybe a novelty gadget?
Must be. I don't know, but I'm over it.
I'm over it too. I'm not going to. Oh, you'd be crazy. Anyone listening?
We're over it.
If you're switching to Macs and you like the look of the MacBook, now there's three. There's the MacBook, MacBook Air, and MacBook Pro. Do not go anywhere near the MacBook.
No.
MacBook Air is fine. MacBook Pro is fine.
But the
MacBook is extremely overpriced, and in my opinion, and I'm an Apple fanboy, the MacBook is a piece of garbage. There you go. I've said it. Cookie Monster, get your act together.
Now to the point. How's your Surface going?
All right, got it right here.
Yeah, it's as far as Windows 10, not crashing, no blue screens. It's going.
Never had a blue screen.
Going good.
You know the other thing that annoys me? It needs updates once a week. You know the Microsoft once a week update thing.
Oh, once a month.
It annoys me. That's the only thing that annoys me about it.
Yeah. Well, Apple must have updates as well. They bring updates.
Not as often as that though.
Maybe they let things slide.
Once a month, probably.
All right. Dick Smith, they're finished, as we know. Now the what do you call them? The people that come in and
those guys, the liquidators,
or the receivers. That's the word I was looking for. Receivers appointed in January, been closing the network of the physical stores progressively since 25th of February. So it has finally come to an end. The remaining 195 shops will close between the 27th of April and 3rd of May. The Dick Smith name will live on, as we know, through the Kogan online store. So wife was in at Dick Smith today looking for some cheap stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of... there was some game that you interacted with the TV and your iPad. I'm not sure what it was. It was $80 down to like 12, and
I would have bargained with them and said, "Give it to me for $8."
Yeah. Well, there was iPhone cases there and stuff, and you could go and just buy rubbish, couldn't you?
If you really needed an iPhone case, it'd be the perfect time to get one.
Yeah, look, I think there were some deals to be had, but like they didn't have anything decent. They had Dick Smith TVs.
They had garbage when they were full-fledged, running properly.
Yeah, well, that's
they had
right.
Rubbish.
Yeah, it wasn't like Dick Smith in the old days when Dick Smith actually owned it. You went in, you just buy all your componentry, like in J-Car.
J-Car, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Dick Smith used to be like J-Car, and they went more consumer, which is fine, but they sort of got rid of a lot of their components, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
It became a minor part of their business. J-Car now, last year I had to do a project for my middle child, science project. So we went down to J-Car to get some batteries and some switches and all this sort of stuff. The place was packed.
Yeah, there's a few people in there. Yeah.
Place was packed.
They got everything. Like, everything.
Oh, yeah.
They've got weather stations. They've got racing cars. They've got...
Oh, yes. I was about to say that. I walked in there and said, there's a helicopter, so I need that.
Yes. They got the, the buzzer game, where you put your finger in, and if you get the question wrong or something happens, you get electrocuted, or if you're not...
Yeah, like Guantanamo Bay, I think it's called.
Yes.
That game.
So that's good. Yeah, they got everything. Go. If you haven't been into a J-Car, get down there, have a look. It's great. Yes. Now, what else have you got, Eric? You got another story there?
Yeah, I've got something here on the... hang on. Lost my page. Here we go. Apple Car.
What's going on there? Yes.
What's going on here? Apple reportedly running secret car lab in German capital, right? That's one of two stories here. You can see you're highlighting my heading there. According to Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, Apple clandestine facility in 20 German automotive industry with backgrounds in engineering, software, hardware, and sales. The workers at the lab are described as progressive thinkers. In their respective fields who agreed to work with Apple after their ideas for innovation were stifled by more conservative outlooks of their previous employers. So I'm guessing Rolls-Royce, BMW. Anyway, the report alleges that Apple is investigating a vehicle sharing model similar to BMW's Drive Now and European car rental service SIXT, Sixt, owing to the company's lack of nationwide distribution network. So they're obviously trying a partnership with someone to manufacture. So they'll do the software and design, possibly in conjunction, the design in conjunction with a European car maker, but then the distribution will be done by, and manufacturing will be done by, Mercedes-Benz or someone like that.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. And you'd be stupid to go it alone because you don't know what you're doing, right?
Well, look what happened to the watch.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then the next story, that story was released on April 18. 2 days later, Apple Car talks with Daimler and BMW fell apart over leadership issues. Well, what a surprise.
Yes. Look, I was only thinking the other day, and only probably the other day, 2 days ago or something, and just about, I don't know what made me start thinking about it, but, we've had a discussion about Apple and Tim Cook's leadership and all this sort of stuff, and like when you do think about it, I know we've touched on this before, but like the problem is, like he's the boss of Apple, but he's so much the opposite of Jobs. Like Jobs was a visionary. Jobs he goes, I want the Apple TV, I want the iPhone, I want this. But
I will develop a touchscreen, blah 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 blah. And the actually iPad was the first thing they developed. And he went a brainwave. Thought, hang on a minute, let's make this a phone instead. Right,
yes.
Visionary.
Yes, but
no one expects him to be exactly like Steve Jobs. But you can't be the geek in the basement with no ideas.
No, well, that's the problem. I don't think he pretends to be the geek in the basement. I think he's just the manager.
That's it.
That's it.
That's right.
That's the problem, and that's why you're getting the same iPhones trolled out year after year after year after year. Like there's nothing.
Well, like I
much
said a
going
couple
on.
of weeks ago, before I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, or maybe a month ago, I think I said when jobs died, a lot of people left, not through their own accord. A lot of them were sacked because people like bringing in their own people,
Yeah.
and the ideas and the goodwill and the visionary stuff. Because he surrounded himself with people similar to him, and hence the products. Right, the only one that's still there, really, of that whole design that design place is probably Johnny Ives.
Well, he's not a visionary either. Really?
Well,
is he?
see,
He's just a designer.
well, he is and he isn't. But see, he's more visionary, I think, when he's got other visionary people around him. But if they've all left and he's got no one to bounce his ideas off, he's bouncing his ideas of Cookie Monster, and he's clueless.
That's why whenever you see Johnny Ives, he's in a white room.
Yeah, that's right, because there's no one else there. They've all left.
He needs help. Someone go talk to him, please.
So, and he's and Ives used to bounce ideas off Jobs. What about this? What about this? And they'd have a think tank and a brainstorming and whatever you want to call it. But you got a Cookie Monster, and all you get was, okay.
How much is that going to cost?
I'm boring. Give me DOS. So who are you bouncing stuff off? And I think their development, and I'm not the only one that said this. A lot of people have said this. The Wall Street Journal said this. I think the New York Times said this. About a month and a half ago, that they've lost their
mojo
because they haven't come up with a new product since the iPad.
No, well that's right, and I think they've got a lot of angst must lay with this car, like if it's fair dinkum, which I think it probably is, but yeah, they can't go it alone. They have to.
Oh no, I don't think they ever intended to go it alone. They'd be just the arrogance. But again, extraordinaire if they did that.
But again, what is the car going to do? The Google car's not doing. Or
I don't want a Google car because I think Google makes ugly cars unless they can make something that looks like a Tesla. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Apple make a nice looking car.
But is that all that's going to be the difference? Is there going to be any vision in this car, or is it just going to be like looks nice, Johnny Ives? Thanks.
No, I think it'll look nice. It'll probably run on. It might be a hybrid petrol electric, or it might be a full electric. They might do something visionary, and the sunroof is actually a solar panel, which is what they should be doing.
No, in Apple, it'll run on a special type of fuel.
You're not driving it right.
Yeah, you can only get it from Apple, and they take 30 cents of every litre.
Right. And so, like your USB cable, you only get it from Apple. It's $45, so you can only charge your battery at an Apple charging station, and it's going to be triple everyone else's charge.
Well, I bought something from Apple the other day.
God forbid. Did you have to mortgage your kids?
Just about. I bought a charger for a MacBook Pro.
Oh, hang on a minute, but they're free.
What do you mean?
On the recall thing.
A charge? No, I didn't have the old one.
Doesn't matter. Oh, did you have to hand in the old one?
I don't know. But anyway, I'll tell you about that later.
Because you bought that MacBook Pro, didn't you?
Yes, but I didn't have a charger.
Why didn't have a charger?
Just didn't have one.
Who'd you buy it off?
Can't say.
Okay. No worries. Now back to this car, right?
Yes.
I think it'll look. I have no doubt that once Johnny Ives gets his mojo and surrounds himself with decent car designers, preferably no one from Apple, because it'll be an iPad on wheels otherwise. It'll just look rubbish.
Yep.
It'll look good. And it'll be the interior will be sensational. I don't know if you've seen the Tesla Model 3. Look it up on your.
Yeah, we talked about that last time you were on the show. I think
beautiful bloody car.
Very nice.
If he can compete with that, they'll be doing well, and they probably will be able to compete with that.
There's got to be more to it. There's got to be more involved. There's got to be.
Look, it'll be software and it'll all be internet connected and all be all that sort of stuff. But I'm happy to wait and see on this one. I won't bag them on this like I did when the rumours about the Apple Watch came out. I was on them straight away saying this is not going to work. This is rubbish. They're making a consumer gadget. It's a gimmick, and I was right.
Yeah.
But I think on the car, I think they'll do okay.
Well, okay. So look, we don't want to spend all night on Apple. It seems to be
No, we don't, do we?
the only
we
thing
don't.
that's been punching out news, isn't it? Except for this one, IBM. They're down the tubes as well. Post worst revenue in 14 years. What's going on?
Well, they've got rid of all their hardware and they've sold their laptops, Lenovo.
That's right.
I think they've sold their
They've sold
their
everything.
server business as well.
Yeah, the company revenue fell 4.6% to 18.68 billion. So they're still selling something.
It's mainly services now, because installations and implementations and all that sort of big projects, which is fine, but they're not making money.
IBM has been moving towards such areas as cloud-based services, security software, never heard of any, and data analytics, while trimming its traditional hardware business by exiting low-margin businesses. Well, I mean, if the low-margin businesses were still contributing to the bottom line,
then you might have only dropped 10%, not 14.
yeah, why wouldn't you keep
9%.
Yeah, like it's sometimes low margin, but quantity.
But high volume, good cash flow.
Yeah.
Well, Lenovo's going great guns. They bought their server business and their laptop business. I've got a Lenovo server at work, which I upgraded, I think, wouldn't do that probably last year. I did that.
Yeah,
and that
right.
is just the nicest machine.
Yeah.
And they packed this. Well, my server, the first one I bought 8 years ago for my office, when I moved into the new office, was this big.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
HP.
yes,
This bloke, it was massive. It's just, I've still got it.
Yeah.
And it runs like a dream. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It just flies. Dual processor. It's brilliant.
Massive.
But I needed a new one.
Yep.
And they packed a similar amount of stuff in it, and it's half the size. It's this big.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
And it's light as a feather. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, it is so fast. It is shocking.
Yeah, right. So you noticed the speed difference with just accessing files
Automatically. My one didn't need to be replaced. It needed to be reformatted and SSD drive put in there. But see, because it's a work machine or work server, I didn't have the time to do that. I needed a straight crossover.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So I had to buy one, transfer the information across, which the IT guys did for me.
And just get it.
And now that that's done, I can then just muck around with this one.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I couldn't afford to have 3 days of downtime, and putting new and sometimes it doesn't work and you got to restart. I didn't have the time to do that.
Yeah, and look, sometimes when you reformat your machine, you're a day out. You're a day out of action.
Oh, easily.
Easy.
And if it's a server, I've got all these other rubbish I've got to drag off at first.
Yeah,
and
well.
that takes a day on its own.
Yeah, that's right.
While it's dragging off, I can't do any work because then the file's out of date.
Yeah, well, yes.
So that's 2 days. Then I've got to install the SSD. So I could probably give up a week.
Yeah. And
To
while
get
you're
it
there,
right.
is the new server water cooled?
No,
Not that hot. Doesn't run hot.
it doesn't run hot at all. No, it's quiet. Very
Yeah.
quiet.
Very, very quiet.
My last one had dual fans in it.
Ooh.
And when it booted, it sounded like a plane taking off. When it booted up and the fan started. Seriously, and then it settled down and it was fine. But when it booted up, everyone thought the plane flying overhead.
Yeah, property values
loud.
plummeting. Eric,
Plummeting to death.
yeah. Oh, Eric, we've got an auction on Saturday. Do you mind not turning that server on?
Everyone's going to think you're on the flight path.
Yeah, keep that server off. We'll give you a couple of bucks, eh? Now, talking about things making noises, the Xbox 360 used to make a bit of a noise, didn't it? When it red ringed of death. But anyway,
Yeah, it had a bit of a noise, and what made more noise was the customers when it did the red ring of death with the cursing and the swearing.
that's right. Well, the Xbox 360 is no more. This week, Microsoft has stopped manufacturing the Xbox 360 games console 10 years after it was first launched. Now,
Okay.
Phil Spencer, you might go, who's Phil Spencer? Well, I'll tell you, he is the Xbox boss. Said gamers...
Hang on, Phil Spencer, wasn't it in Some Mothers Do Have Him? Was that his name?
No, it's Frank.
Frank. That's his brother, Phil. All
Might have
right.
been his brother. That's right. That's why we had the red ring of death. Oh, Betty.
Oh, Betty.
Put your finger here.
Do you know where my Xbox gone?
Now, so Phil Spencer said gamers had completed more than 78 billion hours of play on the device. I don't know.
And in the exact same amount of not exercising, 78 billion hours of not exercising.
Now, can we just, I don't know if my calculator, I just want to know how many years that was. Just as
10 years, didn't you say?
No, 78 billion hours.
Oh, 78 billion hours.
Yeah.
Holy rubbish! I don't think my calculator has that many numbers.
78. What's a billion? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Eight
5,
zeros.
Yeah, it could be 1,000 million. Okay, we'll do that. 7 billion divided by 24. 325 million days divided by 365. Oh yeah, 890,410 years.
That's is that 9 zeros you've got or 10? I think it's 9 zeros. 78 billion hours divided by what? What's your first denominator?
24
24.
to get to days.
Right.
Then 365.
Times 365.
No, divided by 365.
Oops. I screwed that up. Start again.
But it was 890 years. 890,000 years.
Divided by 24, divided by 365. Yep.
That's a lot.
Yep.
So anyway.
That could be, you sure it's not 8,904 years?
Yeah. I might have used the American billion instead of the English billion.
Well, the devalued billion because they've got so much debt.
That's right. Not they're trillions. They're terrible.
Oh, they're hopeless. That's another story. Could be here all day about that.
We would be. Now, did you have anything else?
Yes, I do.
Yes. What else have you got?
Just a note, no criticism here. Not long ago, Apple brought out the Watch OS 2.2.
Yeah, 2.2.
2.2. And since then, it's been a month. They have released 2 betas since then.
Right.
In a month's time.
2 betas.
Right. So, because this is for the upcoming Watch OS upgrade, right?
Yeah.
So they've released 2.0.
Yeah.
Now then it went to 2.2.
Yeah.
Now it's up to 2.21. That's all within a month of each other. Now, just looking at that, and I could be wrong. I suspect there's a trouble brewing with the development of this software. It's not quite working, and they keep releasing betas because the last one's no good. And it's been a very short development cycle, and they've already got 2 out.
What's the beta numbers? What are the version numbers?
2.21 is the latest one.
And then it's 2.2.
No, 2.2.1.
Right, and what was the one before?
2.2 dot.
Oh, that's only a minor.
But prior to that, it was 2.0.
Yeah, so they just come thick and fast.
So it's not the numbering that's the problem. It's how close they are together.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably when you got a beta, iOS. What are we up to now? 9, right?
But
the beta wouldn't come. The next beta wouldn't. You'd have a good month before, or even 6 weeks before the next 9.1 came out, right? And maybe another 2 weeks or 4 weeks before 9.11 came out.
But it could be they're not versioning builds. Do you think?
No, they're not versioned. These aren't live yet. They're betas.
Yeah,
but I'm saying for the developers, they're getting these beta upgrades very quickly. Because, when you get a beta, you start developing for that. And then suddenly you got 2.2. Oh, well, I've got to rewrite things and blah, blah, blah. And usually you get a good 6 weeks to play around with the current beta, or 4 weeks. But to have released 2 betas in 4 weeks is actually quite a lot.
But I don't. Oh, yeah. But are they? But like when Windows 10 was coming out, you could download a new build every day, because they fix up problems in the day before, so they'd release.
Well, I'm not sure how the Windows builds work, but I'm assuming that those builds wouldn't be major.
No. So what you're saying is you think that the Apple ones
are major.
Yeah, that's too much. No,
because when you see with the betas with Apple, whether it's the phone or the watch, well, it was back then because I haven't joined them. I think last time I joined was when I was doing iOS 8. That when the next beta came out, you had to wipe your phone and install a new beta. It wasn't an upgrade.
Yeah.
So to have to wipe your phone or your watch twice in 4 weeks, it's like, oh great, here we go again.
I think that's the watch was look. The watch was
The
a
watch is
catch-up
rubbish.
product. Yeah, it was a
Always
catch-up.
has been.
It was a catch-up product. That's all it was.
Yeah,
It was
it's rubbish.
It was
It's
something
absolute crap.
something for Tim so he could tick a box.
Yeah, like so someone says, "Hey, Mister Cookie Monster, you haven't developed anything since the iPad." Yes, we have. We've developed the watch. Next question, please.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's a tick, tick, tick. Because I think he is a bit of a box ticker.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like a bureaucrat at a bank.
Yes.
If I tick these boxes, I can go home happy.
Yeah. He's a box ticker, but other than that, he doesn't like boxes.
No, hates boxes.
Hates them.
Hates them. That's why their packaging in Apple is so small.
Yeah.
He hates boxes.
Doesn't like Xboxes.
No.
Now, look, I've got another Apple story.
Oh, no. Apple abandons QuickTime. Is that your story?
Yes. Look, I think this might be pretty much one of my last ones. It definitely will be my last Apple story. So if everyone's still bared with us, we just trawl through Apple stories this week, but there wasn't much else out there. But this does apply to Windows. So Apple has stopped producing updates for QuickTime Media Player. God knows who's using it.
I don't think I use that on Windows.
Oh, I have used it because I had to play the .mov files. I think I've had to.
I do have it. I do have it.
I think I've had to install it, and this is why I don't want to uninstall it just yet. I think you had to install it just so you can get the codecs into, say, like video editing software and stuff.
Yeah, that's right, because the codecs is all built in there.
Yes, I don't know if I want to be uninstalling that too quickly, but when they're saying you've got to uninstall it because it's vulnerable to the 0 Day Initiative website. Okay, so that's a group of people get together and hunt around for 0 day problems, vulnerabilities found in the Windows version of QuickTime has been reported to Apple. Apple has not officially announced the end of QuickTime on Windows. QuickTime was first released in 1991, and a version was later available for Windows. Trend Micro said the only way to protect your Windows system from potential attacks against these or other vulnerabilities in Apple QuickTime is to uninstall it. However, it is understood QuickTime on Mac will continue to receive updates. So if you want to uninstall it, just go to uninstall programs, the usual way through the control panel. But if you've got video,
I find it's good for extracting audio.
Yeah, it does have its uses. I don't know if I'm going to quickly.
I don't use it that often. I can't remember the last time I used it. To tell you the truth,
I think I've used the codec-y parts of it in the video editing software. Say when you're importing titles and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
You always seem to get exported as .movs.
Yes.
But if you're just simply playing MOVs, I think you just install, the Media Player Classic. Gives you quite a plethora of player.
Yeah, where is that Media Player? Is that on Windows 10?
Yeah. You've just got.
Oh, there it is.
You got down.
Haven't said that.
Not
Haven't
Windows
said that
Media.
for a while.
Yeah, not Windows Media Player, but the Media Player Classic. It's not a Windows thing.
Oh no, I'm on Windows 10 here.
Yeah,
but I went on my search bar and typed in Media Player, and the old one is still there.
Yeah, that's probably because you've come from 7. Is that an upgrade?
Not sure. But yes, it is. It is an upgrade.
There's a better, more well-rounded Media Player, and it's the Media Player Classic. If you Googled that, downloaded that, then you pretty much.
Is that Microsoft approved?
No, well, it works. I don't know. Microsoft didn't do it, but it'll play anything. If you ever want to play something, you download
Media Player Classic. Good to know.
Yeah, so you go grab that one. Now, where am I going here? Look, while I'm looking for that next story, which has seemed to have gone to God, let me tell you about the Aussie Mac Zone. Don't forget, go to your iTunes, download the Aussie Mac Zone. Also, the videos of Aussie Mac Zone have started to pump out again. Michael's head down, bum up, got the video machine working. So I think you go to YouTube, have a look at those. Go to the website, aussiemaczone.com.au, have a look at those. You can follow our little news stories, pop 2 news stories into your Twitter feed at Aussie Tech News. Follow them. And if you want to follow us on Twitter at Aussie Tech Heads. A little bit goes through the Twitter, not too much. And if you want to hashtag us, it's hashtag Aussie Tech Heads. Pretty easy, isn't it? And other podcasts, Obsidian Loft, Old Fart Geeks, Will and Jace, they've been having a bit of a break, haven't they? Haven't been an episode for a while.
Yeah, where is Jason? Is he still on the face of this planet?
He's in love.
Oh, I see.
So, where podcasts come a distant second to love.
That's right. He's a love junkie.
And the Aussie Tech Security, don't forget that. They're all, if there is a current episode, and there is one for the Aussie Tech Security, will be in the Aussie Tech Radio new episodes every Friday. So check them out. Now, I found my story, my next one. Now, here's some good news. Now, AuDA, spelled AuDA, which is the Australian Domains, I don't know, Association, sounds good.
Yes.
Now, they get after 10 months of deliberation and a couple of rounds of public consultation, drew about 5,000 responses, which I was one of them. Majority of panel members recommended in December last year that direct registrations in .au should be possible.
So it'd be alliancepartners.au or AussieTechHeads.au.
Yes, no more. Well, I'm not sure if they're going to they wouldn't depreciate the .com.au because everyone's got it. But yeah, so it'll be a .au. It'd be nice if they sort of
that's all right.
moved you over for free, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll be good. Like, you don't want to be sitting around, .com.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Like dogsbreath.au.
Exactly. How good's that? You know exactly where the site should be coming from.
Or, head like a busted thong.au.
Yeah, that's right. Or headlikeadroppie.com. Oh,
that's right. Oh, see, I'm lost now.
That's right. That's right. Now, Australia Post, they're getting into the drone frenzy. They this week launched closed field trials of drones to work out how small parcels can be delivered safely and securely.
Oh God! Everyone's going to lose their parcel, just fall out of the sky.
I'm more concerned about. Look, I don't even know how this gets off the ground. Pardon
the size of it, the thrust. But what if you've ordered a server?
but just like, do these things just? What happens if they run out of power? They're just going to drop.
I don't know what they're running on. Plutonium.
Solar?
So that like Star Trek, it just goes forever.
I think they do. They recognise when they're running low, they'll land themselves. But look.
Okay. Well, the other problem is this, right? Their range obviously isn't going to be as great as a truck or a car, right? That's a given. So how many dispatch centres do they need to have? Suddenly you're going to have all these little dispatch servers everywhere because they've got a range of 2 or 5 kilometres. For example, if I want to get a phone delivered, it's got to come from IPEC at Mascot, just say, right, or Rosebery, and he does his drop-offs, all the way along, and then he goes back to Mascot. Now, if you run it on drones, sure, there'll be no trucks on the road, but suddenly there's all these warehouses everywhere because the drones don't have a big range. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's only obviously going to be just in, real condensed metro-type areas. But look, I can see the advantages if they ever picked up and, got into, like, real mainstream. Like, you could be sitting down the beach and they go, where are you? We got a parcel for you. Yeah, I'm down.
Sitting I think this is all rubbish. This sort of stuff, I think it's just gimmicky.
Yeah. Didn't a drone hit a plane over in England at Heathrow? So
that's dangerous. That was probably your parcel.
It might have. Actually, I got a parcel here today. I didn't even open it. I don't know what it was.
Well, nothing new there.
No. Where is it? I've got to remember. I have to write down to remember.
Nothing new there.
Last month, the CASA relaxed the country's drone rules to allow commercial operators to fly drones weighing under 2 kilograms without a license. Still kill you if it hit you on the head.
Oh yeah, 2 kilos at at 1,000 meters or 1,000 feet.
Well, they reckon like if someone chucked off a 5-cent piece off the top of say Centre Point and hit you in the head, it'd kill you.
Oh, you're gone.
Yeah, so like that's a 5-cent piece.
So you say a drone was flying only that high, right? Because it's got to, because you got have clear airspace.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. That's all I can say.
So operations outside of the line of sight and over densely populated areas are still prohibited. So where are you going
to deliver?
Yeah, where's the parcel going?
They'll say, we'll just deliver the country areas, but you don't have enough range.
You get the CASA approval, so maybe Australia Post will do that. But drone operators are also required to stay more than 30 metres away from people, buildings, vehicles and boats.
Okay, so basically you can't use them anywhere.
But it says drone operators.
Okay, I got this right. The drone's coming. You're in the country. Let's say you tick that box. You're away from the suburban area, so you're in the country, and I need to deliver it now. But because it says there you've got to stay 30 metres away from a car or people, what are you going to do? Just drop it in the middle of the paddock? And I have to ride my horse to pick it up?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, who knows?
To work. This is gimmicky.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is gimmicky. It's too gimmicky. It's like wearable electronics, your phone that's embedded in your jacket.
Amazon was doing it.
That's ridiculous.
They were trialling it. When pizza places were doing it, delivering you. That'd be good for on the beach, wouldn't it? Just ring. Oh, I got a pizza. I'm down at Kira Beach.
Oh, whoops! Now on the sand.
Yeah, I'm the one.
Sandy pizza.
Just fly over. You'll see me. I'll have my pants down or something.
That's
so
right.
You can see me.
You'll see some action
with a red carnation.
That's right.
Yeah, drone. Yeah, I said that. Buildings, blah blah blah. Did I show you the picture for those in the video?
No, show me the picture. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there it is.
It looks very pretty.
It is very nice, isn't it?
I just like a drone for fun. What happened to having things for fun? Why does everything have to have a use or an application?
I know. It's takes the fun
out. What was wrong with fun?
Yeah, I agree. Well, you need to get into some drone racing.
Nah, that's not fun.
Oh, you would be hooked. You would be.
And I'd be dizzy.
You would be hooked.
I'd be dizzy. I tell you. How do they run? Where do they get their power from? Because they're going pretty fast for quite a while. These races can go for 10, 20 minutes. So what? How are they? What sort of storage technology they got on there?
Well, they'd have obviously a battery sized.
They'd have a battery. It has to be light though, right? It has to be relatively light.
This is how drones work. And where's this? This is from Time magazine. Here we go. They're typically anything but has been demonstrated again, blah blah blah. Okay, in order to describe how you have to first distinguish them from their predecessor remote control helicopters. Okay, so blah blah.
I like a good helicopter.
Blah. When you are fully engaged, blah blah blah. Oh, Jesus, goes on.
I know, just get on with it.
Yeah, I know. When you have multiple rotors, you have a lot of interesting benefits.
Yeah, that's right. It's thrust and yaw and speed and forward and back. That's fine. I get all that.
Drones.
Where do you get your power from to keep going for 25 minutes?
Drones typically come with a removable battery that provides around 12 minutes of flight time. Many drone makers sell extra batteries, and you can upgrade them to get up to 25 minutes of flight. But more power means more weight, which is why these machines get such little airtime. Everyone would love to have a drone that flies for hours on end, but the battery, powerful enough to do that, would also act like an anchor.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, so 12 minutes. So my parcel has to come from somewhere that is 12 minutes away.
No, 6 minutes.
6 minutes away, because you've got to come back.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let's call it 5, because you've got to have a reserve.
Yeah.
Right? 5 minutes away based on the speed of the drone. So I would say that would be probably a kilometre away.
If you don't get your parcel within 6 minutes, the drone is on us.
Yeah,
because it won't come back.
And so's the parcel. Actually, I'll have freebies all around.
Well, it might be on someone else after it falls out of the sky onto their face.
Yeah, I reckon that drone can only do 1,000 meters in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like a car, right? The faster you go, the more power you consume.
Why can't you just stick in a little solar panel? Probably not. You still need a battery.
You just can't deliver at night. Plutonium is the way to go. The flux capacitor, mate.
They reckon that is it plutonium, or there's another one that they reckon is that we should be harnessing the power of rather than uranium.
Hydrogen.
No, it's plutonium, I think. What's his name? Ross Cameron. He's onto it.
Rossi, from Paul Murray.
Yeah, he's onto it. He talks about the plutonium or something else other than.
Did you watch him last week when he had a go at Fitzy, that left-wing rabid Republican?
That was a good episode. He fires up, doesn't he? He's been a bit quiet of late, old Ross, but he's been fired up the last 2 weeks.
But you know what I like about him? He can fire up and remain calm.
Mm.
And I think, that takes a lot of self-control. Because if that was me, I would have got up off my chair, ripped my microphone off, and punched Fitzy in the throat.
Well, you could have because he didn't have his bandana on, so he didn't feel sorry for him.
He's such an idiot. Left-wing, rabid Republican. He hates the Queen for some reason. What's she ever done to you?
Yeah, does he? I think he doesn't hate her, does he? Does he hate her?
No, he hates the whole concept.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, so do the Americans.
No, the Americans love the royal family.
Well, they kicked her out. They become.
Yeah, but they love her.
Yeah, they do.
They'd have her back. I reckon they'd have her back.
They probably would.
But they've got no royal family. Who's their royal family? The Clintons? Give me a break.
Donald.
No, he's scum of the earth. Never mind. Next question.
I think that's it. I'm finished. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm done.
I'm done.
All right, we can just rabble on for 3 minutes, and that'll be exactly 1 hour.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Drones. There's one here. DJ Phantom Advanced Drone, 1 year warranty, international shipping for free, $1,100. Where are we getting this from? Let's see what this is. Oh, yeah, look at that. I'd want postage insurance. What if they used a drone to deliver your drone?
They probably could.
And you never got it.
They could. What would happen if they droned it to your place and you went, oh no, return
wrong drone?
Yeah, they're not here anymore, and the drone's got to go all the way back.
Well, it took ages because you'd already moved.
Yeah, well, when they come and deliver it to your door, what happens if you're not home?
Who's going to drop the little slip of paper? You know what they're going to do? They're going to pretend they went to your door and they'll send you an email even though they never left the bloody depot.
No, they're going to make everyone put chimneys in.
Oh, maybe. But then the greenies will jump up and down because then you might actually light a log and increase your carbon footprint. Oh, God forbid.
Oh, no. Well, maybe if they just took one less plane trip a week, then that carbon footprint would even out.
You know what the footprint would have lessened? About 2 years ago, they went to the Antarctica to prove that global warming was happening. And they were so correct about this that they got stuck in the ice. Remember that?
Right. Yes, that's
Worked
right.
well, and the funny thing is, they kept that quiet. Because where they thought they were going to see palm trees and people sunbathing because of the global warming, there was this massive ice shelf of about 40 metres high.
But that's what happens, isn't it? There was a top scientist, and look, if that person that wrote that review, remember that guy that wrote the review on iTunes on us? He said, "Oh, they're just a bunch of climate change deniers."
You're a bunch of deniers. I hope you're listening. I am a climate change denier, not because I'm ignorant or arrogant or I just refuse to believe that the earth is round rather than flat. It's very simple. I'm not a denier. It's not happening. There's nothing to deny. It hasn't happened for 18 years.
No.
And there's more ice now in the Antarctic now than there was 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, how's this dude here? We'll end because we don't want to get started into all this sort of rubbish. But the scientist resigns and admits global warming is a big scam.
It is. It's been a scam for 50 years.
This guy, Hal Lewis, that's a name I know from somewhere else. University of Hal Lewis. Wasn't he an actor or something?
Yeah, maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe it's the same name.
Didn't he produce Elvis Presley movies or something?
That's the Colonel.
Oh, yeah, the Colonel. But anyway, so Hal Lewis, University of California, Santa Barbara, or Barbara, wherever, he put a letter to the American Physical Society.
Physics Society, maybe?
Physical.
Oh, physical. Well, it's probably
physical.
Probably to do with physics, I would
When
say.
I first joined the American Physical Society 67 years ago, it was much smaller, much gentler, and as yet uncorrupted by the money flood, a threat against which Dwight Eisenhower warned of half a century ago. Ooh.
Yeah.
Indeed, the choice of physics as a profession was then a guarantor of a life of poverty and abstinence. It was World War II that changed all that. So he goes on and on. He's a bit of a letter writer. Now, how different is it now? The giants no longer walk the earth and the money flood has become the raison d'etre of much physics research, the vital sustenance of much, much more. Geez, he can write.
It's a conspiracy to send as much money as possible to the United Nations because they want one global power. That's all it is.
The global warming scam with the literally trillions of dollars driving it that has corrupted so many scientists and has carried APS
and politicians
like a rogue wave. It is the greatest and most successful pseudo-scientific fraud I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
My long life as a physicist. Anyone who has the faintest doubt that this is so should force himself to read the Climate Gate documents which lay it bare. Montford's book organises the facts very well. I don't believe that any real physicist, nay scientist, can read that stuff without revulsion. I would almost make that revulsion a definition of the word scientist. And he goes on and on for another 600
Because
pages.
the thing is, what these climate change agreeable people don't realise, and they're always, for some reason, they're all left-wingers. I don't know what the correlation is between climate science and being a left-wing ratbag. I just don't know why there's not right-wing, you know what I mean? It's just, why is it all that side? I don't get that. I don't want to. Maybe because it's the whole, it's about their way of controlling. You got to use less this week because they're the nanny state people.
But I suppose that it's probably all wrapped up in because the climate change, greenhouse gases. I don't want the Earth to be filled with.
Well, see, the thing is,
smog. Well, no one.
No one wants that. See, this is where people don't understand. I don't like the diesel fumes coming out of trucks. I think that should be fixed because that's actually a lot of poison that comes out of there, right? Yeah. Emissions out of a car, make that as clean as you possibly can. I got no issue with that. But climate change is not happening. It's that simple. And notice that when they realised it wasn't happening, they changed it to climate change from global warming.
That's right.
Because they go, we can't call it that now because, Jesus, it's actually not happening. So I will call it climate change. So every time it rains, we'll say, that's the climate changing because it didn't rain this time last year. Well, you know what? It probably didn't, and didn't probably rain the year before that or the year before that because rain is unpredictable.
Wouldn't you suggest that if the Earth goes through ice ages and non-ice ages, and
well, that's the thing. The Earth's climate is always changing.
So. Yeah,
that's the whole point, but it's not anything to do with man-made carbon dioxide.
Yeah, because what was it? What that came out like? What the percentage that we produce is like so low. It's like less than 1%.
Yeah, I think Australia produces 1% of all carbon dioxide spat into the atmosphere worldwide. Yeah. So it wouldn't matter if our electricity bills went up to $1 million a week. It will not have any effect at all.
Because people still want to use electricity.
That's right. So that's how third world countries come out of being third world countries. Cheap power, because you can manufacture, you can live in a decent house, you can heat your home, you can cool your home. Otherwise, you're just living in a cave.
And that's what they're doing.
And that's what they want us to do: live in a cave.
Yeah, but it's just look. We're still coming out of an ice age. Once the Earth comes out of an ice age, there won't be any more ice. So
and then it'll start all over again.
That's right.
Because remember, before the ice age came, there was no ice at all.
That's right.
The dinosaurs roamed free.
Exactly.
And then suddenly, ice age, time to die and make fossil fuels. Hello.
Too cold. And
too cold. I'm going.
Because like the Earth rotates around the sun, and the sun rotates around the galaxy. And probably the galaxy rotates around the universe. I don't know what else happens.
Well, yeah, it's all very complicated in that regard. But it's always changing. This is the thing. And sometimes sometimes you cannot predict it. Other times you can. Years and for the last, 100 years, 50 years, they've had the El Nino and El Nino effect.
Yep.
One is a lot of dry temperatures and drought, and one is lots of rain. That's not climate change. That's not global warming. That has been around forever.
Yeah, it's just a pattern. That's right.
It's a pattern, exactly.
It's like
so. Get a job. Get a real job. Stop sticking your hand out to the government and saying, "Give me an allowance because I'm protesting today climate change down at Martin Place." Well, no, you're not. You're going to get off the dole and get a job and maybe change your politics a little bit and stop being such a left-wing ratbag.
Right. Look what happens when we have time to fill.
I know. 8 minutes we've gone over.
Okay, so I hope that climate change sympathisers are listening. You can write another review on iTunes.
You write another make it as stinging as you like, because in 10 years' time you'll wake up to yourself and realise you didn't need to live in a cave all along.
But anyway, look, that's fine. Like that's just the way I think, and obviously if you disagree with that's the way you think.
That's okay. You can think that way. That's no problem.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
nothing wrong.
Opinion.
You're allowed your opinion. You people on the left side. And we're allowed our opinion. We're not going to shut you down, and you can't shut us down. Let's agree to disagree.
That's right. And then majority rules come July 2.
That's right.
All
Bring
right.
it on.
Okay. Well, that's it. Thanks for coming in, Eric. And
No worries.
giving us your climate-denying insights. That was great. All right. Okay.
I deny I ever said that.
Yes. All right. So that's it for this week. Look, sorry it was a bit Apple concentrated or centered, wasn't it?
I didn't realise it was going to be, but nevertheless.
Yeah, that's all that was really around. So, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
That's right, the Cookie Monster.
That's
and
right.
don't forget, I haven't given Cookie Monster, Mr. Tim Cook, a beating for a few weeks, so he was due.
He was due. He does. And I know he listens. He does listen to you, Eric.
Oh, he does listen. Yeah, I know.
He dreads. He dreads. He listens with trepidation.
That's right, and he keeps telling me he doesn't like boxes. That's why the Apple stuff is so neat and tidy. Hates boxes.
No, he does. He likes
He likes a neat package.
Yes, he does. All right, let's get out of here. All right, we'll see you next week. Okay, bye for
See you
now.
later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.